I declare an interest as President of the Road Danger Reduction Forum, as in my register of interests. Now, of course, we have lawless roads, and this has been a concern of mine for 2.5 decades or so. And some of that is cyclists, and I would not for a moment defend cyclists who break the law. In fact, I shout at cyclists whom I see breaking the law. I hope every noble lord in your lordship's house does the same. So some of the crime is from cyclists, but the majority of the problem is car drivers. When I was on the Metropolitan Police Authority, 2000 to 2012, before Boris Johnson scrapped it, I kept asking how our roads had got so lawless and why it hadn't been a priority for the senior officers running the organisation. As the Mayor of London's Road Safety Ambassador, I spent a lot of my time resisting proposed cuts to the traffic police and pressing for them to get more resources. It's painfully obvious that many drivers ignore the rules, and people who pay the price for that are often children, older people, pedestrians and cyclists. And as has been said already, in 2017 there were 28,010 recorded hit and runs. So that was around 77 hit and runs a day, and of those, over 2 people a day were killed or left with a life-changing injury. This is not acceptable. It is a national scandal, and the way the last government dealt with it was to stop publishing the figures. So I really hope the new government would end the cover-up and recognise the scale of the problem. We have a national registration scheme for cars, but large number of car drivers just ignore their responsibility and the rules. Many go further and actively destroy cameras that enforce speed or air pollution rules. Now, the noble Lord Hogan-Howe said that the risk of being caught is the best way to stop this sort of lawlessness. And I know that as an Assembly member, I used to cycle a lot, and I was very careful not to get caught because I could not have borne the publicity. And so I was very law-abiding. And I see again and again that the best way of dealing with lawless drivers and lawless cyclists is to stop our over-reliance on electronic enforcement and registration plates. We need more police out on the road, stopping people breaking the rules of the road. Remember, traffic police have always had a much, much higher arrest rate, 7 times higher than those on the beat. And for those suggesting a registration scheme for cyclists, experience has shown that it will soon become impossible to enforce, and the main impact would be to put another big barrier in the way of people who want a cheap, convenient and environmentally friendly and healthy way of getting around. I very much enjoyed the noble Lord Young's comments. It's always a pleasure to agree with a Conservative member of your Lordship's House, and so rare. And if we want a culture of safe and law-abiding cyclists, then making cycling easy, safe and segregated for cars is the way to do it. We need to get more women and children on bikes in cities, and I think that might start to embarrass any lycra-clad men to actually slow down and perhaps obey the rules of the road.